Welcome to Morning Invest, everyone. I'm Clayton Morris. This is the show that teaches you how to invest in yourself so you can become financially free outside of that corrupt government and Wall Street system. We do this show live every day, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, so subscribe to the channel. On today's show, Bitcoin takes a huge nosedive along with the rest of the market. How do you trade and make some money during a time like this? I'm going to show you how to be a little patient. Also, President Biden is about to roll out a wealth tax on the wealthy. So what do you think about it? Drop me a chat message today. Let me know your thoughts on that. And the $3,600 family stimulus has a new start date. We'll tell you what the IRS just informed us of. So we will bring you that detail today on the show as well. That means that Morning Invest starts right now. Let's get a check in the markets to start the old show today. Look at Bitcoin. Dave is freaking out about this a little bit, and I don't blame a lot of people. So what, you lost? You're down like 1,000 on Bitcoin this morning.
Yeah, well over 1,000.
But it's bouncing back. Yeah, it's bouncing back. So Bitcoin down 10% overall right now, 49,000. And the trend line, we just got to be careful about this trend line. So, over $200 billion wiped off cryptocurrency market in a day. As again, Bitcoin plunging 50,000, below 50,000. Where could this go? Could this hit 43? That's the question I have this morning. Don't panic. So 43, let's look at some of the charts on this right now and where this thing is heading. So let me pull up this, pull up the charts here. So looks like we have sort of downward wedge up, hearing. And so we're getting some volume right now. So you see this volume, this green volume popping up here. So that's good. That's good news. But this could end up going further down before it gets better, folks. So I just want to prepare you if any of you have, this downward trend line here. So this is what we got to be watching. It's down in this section here. Grab this one, drag it. So what happens here? 43, 45, somewhere in this range. And then, it's either could bounce lower down to 20 or it could surge again. And so we're just watching this pattern right now and where this thing goes with Bitcoin. So don't panic. Don't panic. But again, that to me is an opportunity to buy. So when it gets down into this range, this 43 range, 45 range, and you just got to watch those and see these patterns. Is it going to break out? Could be an opportunity to scale in some more money before it surges again, it goes back up. And all of these other altcoins now are being affected by this. So if once Bitcoin settles down a little bit, as one of my trading buddies, Cody, likes to say, he's like, these altcoins are going to pop. We just need BTC to settle down a little bit here. What about Ethereum? Let's take a look at Ethereum. That's down also. Popped back up yesterday nicely, back down again. So everything's moving because of Bitcoin right now. And frankly, everything's moving because of politics. We'll get there in a second. President Biden. And here's gold. Gold is up. Looks like because Bitcoin is down, people are looking at gold as a store of value. Buying some gold, and also silver is down a little bit as well this morning. Coming up a little bit later in the show, I'm going to show you how I made a huge mistake. It was basically almost like a rookie error on my part. I bought into Rose USDT. At the end of the show, I'm going to show you some tricks with this. But I bought in and I did something stupid. So I'm going to protect you. You're going to watch what I did and don't make that same mistake. So we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. And I'm also going to show you a good buy, a good altcoin that I'm looking at. Getting into as well. So around 10 a.m. London time, Bitcoin was down over 8%, in the last 24 hours, hitting around 48,000, according to Coin Metrics. It's the first time that it's dropped below 50,000 since March. And then Ether was also down about 12%. XRP, also the biggest budget cryptocurrency, plunged nearly 19%. So that's what's happening right now in crypto space. So just all eyes on what happens with Bitcoin today once again. So we will keep our eyes there. And
we will.
This is an interesting story. Yeah, we will. Here, this is an interesting story today. A lot of you have been asking me about XRP. Well, the SEC is now accusing Ripple of harassment and is asking a judge there to block some of those discovery records. The U.S. Security and Exchange Commission has asked the judge in the SEC versus Ripple case to block Ripple and its executives from getting access to all these internal records that it claims are unrelated to determining whether XRP is a security or not. The SEC says that the defendants do not actually seek relevant evidence, but rather seek to harass the SEC, derail the case's focus, they say, away from its merits, and bog down the SEC with document review. Of course, that's what you do. That's what happens during a discovery process. You make ridiculous requests during a discovery process, right? And the SEC, as we already know, the Security and Exchange Commission, is already woefully understaffed, woefully underfunded, as we discovered during the Bernie Madoff era, right? They don't have the staff. So now you're going to bog them down with this big case, getting them to go through just thousands and thousands of pages of documents. Hey, you want your cake, you got to eat it too, I guess, right? Or you want your, I can't hear with the idioms again. You want to have your cake and eat it too.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think that's right.
Is that right?
Yeah, because right. I mean, anytime I have cake, that's all I want to do is eat it.
Eat it. Who orders cake and doesn't want to eat it?
Yeah.
Who wants to go to Cheesecake Factory and not eat it? I mean, you go to Cheesecake Factory with that 30-page menu, and you're like, I'm here for the cheesecake, right? If you go to a restaurant named Cheesecake Factory, you go there to eat the dessert, right?
Yeah, I always go there for the cheesecake and end up leaving with the meatloaf. I don't know how that happens.
You should eat it in reverse. Go there and start with the dessert first. Get that peanut butter cheesecake fudge, whatever that thing is. If anyone knows, let me know in the chat. You know which one I'm talking about, though. That thing is fantastic.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, it's like the peanut butter, and I was so jealous. My niece was having her birthday at Cheesecake Factory, and we did a FaceTime call, and there's not one near us, and so she's like, I'm getting this type of cheesecake. I'm like, oh, lucky.
It's the little things.
So on this it is the little things, the little cheesecake. So again, we'll be watching this closely, this XRP news, and it looks like, XRP has been getting some wins in this little discovery thing. So a lot of people have been adding XRP back into their purchases. It's a little too rich for my blood, but hey, if you want it, go for it. But the big news was the thing that changed everything yesterday was this breaking news kind of sent shockwaves through everything yesterday. Take a listen to this. So this was the moment from Bloomberg yesterday that sent the markets into a total tailspin. Watch.
39.6% plus a 3.8% surcharge. That's up from 39.6% plus a 3.8% surcharge. That's up from 20% that people making over $1 million have to pay at the moment. What is the likelihood that any Republican in Congress would be on board with this?
The likelihood that any Republican will be on board with this is near zero, essentially. Republicans have said, look, we're not voting for any tax increases to pay for infrastructure spending, whether on roads and bridges or for childcare or anything. The question is, can they get all 50 Democrats to vote for this in the Senate? This is one of those things that they can move through that Senate procedure, budget reconciliation. They can do it with Democratic votes alone, but they need pretty much everyone in the Senate and pretty much everyone in the House to agree to do this.
Yeah, look at that. So this was the breaking news from Bloomberg yesterday reporting on this. And look at just the Dow just plunging. And then the same thing, of course, happened on the crypto side. It was odd to see those two sort of move in tandem at the same time. And usually it doesn't. Usually when you see the market moving like this, usually the stock market moving this way, crypto is kind of buying this capital gains hike to 43%. For New York, that could be as high as 52%. California up to 56%. Big deal. Rumor has it that and this, right now we have no confirmation, by the way, from the White House. This is a rumor that the Biden administration is set to unveil these steep tax hikes. That rumor, of course, sent the stock market into a nosedive. But again, all just a rumor. We have no confirmation. According to Bloomberg, though, and when I see this kind of a story, though, this whole thing, Bloomberg reports this, right? The whole markets move. Everything takes a dive. Who's making money when that happens? That's what I always want to wonder. President Biden has made no formal announcement. Apparently next week during this joint session of Congress, apparently he might do it. And it might be anywhere between 39.6% and 43% for any individual earning more than $1 million. That's nearly what the capital gains taxes currently are. Capital gains taxes are paid on the sale or trade of an asset. They hit investors hard when they sell, say if you're selling a stock or a piece of real estate. And the president reportedly wants these taxes on affluent Americans to help fund his American Families Plan. The plan is expected to focus on childcare, parental paid leave, universal preschool, and free community college. The president is going to address Congress next week on this, and will lay it out more formally. But again, at this point, it's still a rumor, and you have the markets move like that. I think it's silly to be selling in a market like this on this kind of news. It's just kind of crazy. It's unconfirmed news, and you can always adjust your strategy if this becomes true. Like, how do you trade? How do you are you going to sell assets a different way? But if this capital gains hike news is true, it would only affect 0.32% of Americans. So, is it going to keep them from investing due to the high tax bill? Pro-business representatives in Congress are very, unlikely to support this. So if the president wants to do it, he's going to have to push this through on this reconciliation process. But critics of the current capital gains system are basically saying, wait a minute, so you're telling me this rich investor guy over here is paying less in taxes on their stock sales than I am as a middle-class worker pays on my income. Like, that's what we're dealing with right now. That doesn't sound right to me. Does it sound right to you? Like, this rich guy on Wall Street sells his stocks because that's the type of income he makes. He doesn't have a W-2 job. And then he ends up paying way less in taxes than you do as a middle-class American who has a W-2 job. You tell me in the chat, is that fair? Wealthy people with a majority of their net worth tied up in investments do benefit from the current system. Grover agrees.
Yeah, sorry, he's back there just like he stood on his hind legs and was like standing up with whatever toys in his mouth.
He's like, this is what he wants to do to the rich. He's like, this is total garbage. Right, buddy? Yeah. This is what happens, though. And Warren Buffett, again, I've said this before, Warren Buffett once said that he's the lowest paying taxpayer in his entire office at Berkshire Hathaway because his secretary is paying more in taxes than he is. He's paying taxes on his capital gains. But people who oppose raising the capital gains taxes argue that it would have a ripple effect across the economy. It'd be way worse. It would disincentivize risk-taking. It would hold back economic growth, discouraging investors from selling their assets, which of course is seen as helping keep the market healthy. I don't know. Well, one way to do it, though, is this, which is Americans actually support it when you frame it a certain way. I thought this story was pretty fascinating, that when voters will opt to tax the rich, let me show you this. When voters will opt to tax the rich if they know how the money will be spent. Last year, both Arizona and California voted on ballot initiatives to tax the rich. So why did it fail in blue state California, but passed in libertarian Arizona? Interesting question. Well, the answer is that the way it was phrased. There were two remarkably similar propositions were on the ballot, and both aimed to increase taxes. Here it is. In 2020, two remarkably similar propositions were on the ballot in Arizona and California. Proposition 208 and Proposition 15, respectively. Both aimed to increase taxes in a highly progressive fashion in order to fund public services, public schools in particular, in the case of 208, contradicting the common stereotypes about California, the liberal bastion, Arizona, the libertarian heartland. Proposition 208 passed, while the California one failed. Interesting. So if you actually frame it, it turns out, a tax that voters will support, the essence of the two is that $10 billion in new revenue. But the two also differed in two important ways. Prop 15 was a commercial property tax, and Prop 208 was an income tax. The former is arguably more progressive. See, so the way that they frame this thing is like it would have no effect on 99% of Arizonans, right? Only individuals earning a certain amount the top 1% would be affected by this, and that's how it passed. Well, if you just ask people generally, do you support higher taxes? They're going to say, no, I don't. Oh, no, but it's just on 0.32%, the millionaires who don't pay hardly any taxes. What do you feel about that? Then the answer is, well, it turns out yes, even in conservative states like Arizona. Let me know in the chat what you think. I'd love to hear. I lost my. Any good super chats on that?
We got some
my
super
chat
chats,
stream
but
thing.
You lost what?
Related. I lost my. I navigated away from the screen. I want to see what you guys are chatting about, and I clicked on the wrong thing, so I can't see it. Now I got it back. See my interface here. Okay.
Yeah, nothing related to what you were just talking about.
Born Beauty Star says tax them.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It would help them. Yeah, tax their. Jay Anderson says tax their behinds. Yeah, there is a real need for the homeless people. I'm working 2 jobs and it's tough out there. Yeah, it is. Did you watch the new movie Nomadland? I guess it's probably going to win the Best Picture in the Oscars this weekend.
I've never even heard of it.
It's with Frances McDormand.
I love
she's
her.
amazing. She's great.
Fargo.
So she'll probably win. Yeah, she won when she was what's her name in Fargo. But we watched it last night on Hulu, and it was just I was like in tears. I'm like, this is America. Like, this movie nails it. All you need to do is watch this movie to understand what Americans are dealing with now. She works at Amazon for a season, then she travels. She lives in a van, and then she goes to other spots where she can find work. She lived in a community that just totally closed down because the factory just closed down and the whole town was abandoned. And she's got to go find work. She got to try to do something.
I saw that happen.
Medicine.
Yeah, I saw that happen in a small town in Indiana where a forge closed down, and it employed a huge percentage of the area, and it just decimates.
Yeah.
They had car places that would go in, and then they move the manufacturing out and just decimate these towns that are completely dependent on all that those companies bring. That sounds like a good movie. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, it was really good, really well done, and she's amazing. And then John David Stratham, who was in L.A. Confidential, kind of plays he's a character in that too. I think all of the other characters in this movie, I don't even know if they were professional actors. They were just people living in vans. I don't know. I think Frances McDormand and Stratham might have been the only 2 actors in the movie, to be honest with you. I don't know. I haven't done my homework on it.
What's the name of it again?
I haven't. Nomadland, I think.
Nomadland.
Everyone's asking, can any movie beat Nomadland for Best Picture? I don't know. We've got a lot more news to get to here. We're going to talk stimulus. We're going to talk how to trade in this kind of crazy environment right now. We're going to talk climate and what President Biden's planning to do. And progressives, not very happy about it. I'll tell you what my position is on that in a second. But first, I'll tell you about our friends over at Stamps.com. Yes, our friends at Stamps.com want to give you free postage and a free digital scale because they're awesome. And 4 weeks free trial just for trying them out. So you don't have to go to the post office. You don't have to wait in line. You'll save time and money. It's no wonder nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com. If you go to Stamps.com and use the promo code INVEST, you will save a lot of money. You're going to get free trial, postage, and a digital scale, no long-term commitments or contracts. You can simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. Once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or drop it off. It's that simple. So we used to do this a lot. If I would put stuff on the digital scale, it's so easy. Then that way I don't have to go and wait for them to measure it and do all that stuff. You can do it right from home. It's great. And plus you get huge discounts on traditional postage and from UPS. So U.S. Postal Service rates and UPS, you're going to save money on those postage rates just by using Stamps.com. So go there, check on that little microphone button at the top and use the promo code INVEST. Stamps.com, promo code INVEST to get this great deal. Never go to the post office again. All right, let's talk climate change. President Biden's Earth Day Climate Summit wraps up today, with 40 global leaders meeting virtually to discuss ways to combat the climate emergency. President Biden unveiled a new target that calls for cutting U.S. emissions 50% to 52% from 2005 levels by the year 2030. Emissions were down in 2020 significantly. Why? Because the pandemic. So no one was driving. No one was going anywhere. Airplanes weren't flying. But they are on track to go up again as the economy recovers. We're starting to see airline flights taking off again. People are driving again. There's a rental car shortage, so people are trying to travel again. So there's nothing quite like we should be patting ourselves on the back on any of this, right? Two countries, though, that are just like, hey, we'll start to work on this in a little while is Russia and China. They're participating in the summit, but we're not in the best of situations with either nation right now. China says that they are on board with cutting emissions, but they won't start until 2026. They're like, yeah, we know we've got a lot of pollution here in Beijing, and we've got a lot of problems. Like I had a friend, Abby Huntsman, who her father was the ambassador to China, and she was my old co-host, and he was the governor of whatchamacallit, Utah, right? Utah. And at one point, and she said you literally wouldn't leave your room in Beijing. It was so bad. And there would be days when you just couldn't leave, and you'd have to put up like air filters, and you just couldn't go outside. It's that bad. So China's like, no, we'll start on climate, but we'll do that in a few years. We know it's bad, but we're going to take our time on that. We've got other things to worry about, I guess. The Chinese president said they will reach peak carbon emissions before 2030, and then sets their sights on reduction by net zero emissions by 2060. Okay. So in the meantime, as we wrote in the newsletter, we'll just continue to destroy the environment for a little bit longer, and then we'll catch up with you. Makes a lot of sense. Canada's leading the way. England, the EU, all agreed to increasing carbon reduction targets. And today, actually, I wanted to announce, if you're tuning in late, this show is now carbon neutral. So we flipped on the switch today on our solar panels. So now the show is completely run on solar energy, which is really cool. I'm really excited about it. It's so weird to think, too. And what's crazy is it's pouring down rain today and cloudy, and it's still generating power. I can look at the app and see it actually generating power, even in cloudy conditions, which is pretty cool. So right now, all the studio lights, everything here is all being run by solar energy.
And then how does it, is it like a generator backup or something? Like if that kicks off, it kicks on a generator or something? Yeah,
it's a big battery. So this battery, just like it stores that, and we're going to monitor it. Like maybe, and because it's normally pretty sunny, like if we might actually end up getting a second battery as an additional. So because we get too much, we like, you only fill up one battery. You can't. What are you going to do with it, right? So right now, though, monitoring our usage is pretty cool because we're actually generating more than we're using overall.
And so, do you push that back into the grid?
No, actually, not this area. It doesn't actually push back into the grid. They might soon, but it would be nice. We could tap in and move it back into the electric grid. But, there's solar panel production. This is a good investment area. We've been looking at sustainable investments, where to put your money. And solar, I'm telling you, the numbers are that the solar sales for panels are going to triple in the United States and worldwide in the next few years. So if you're looking at growth industries right now and the amount of money that the Biden administration is about to foist on infrastructure, I mean, look no further than wind and solar for this kind of growth. I'm just so fascinated by the fact that we didn't even have solar energy until we decided to go to Mars, and NASA creates solar panels for the rovers. Like, isn't that crazy? Like we can now harness this power, and to me, it's amazing, and I'm just kind of blown away by it. But anyway, so opponents of President's plan say that it's just too slow, and they're also saying it's hypocritical because they still support subsidies to the fossil fuel industry, and this is my biggest problem with this climate plan. And they dumped, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, a bunch of people showed up with wheelbarrows outside the White House. They took big pink wheelbarrows full of horse manure or cow poop near the White House, and then they with signs that said "Stop the BS," and then they just dumped it. The thing is, progressives, including myself, want this to go further. We need to end these subsidies to these fossil fuel companies, because to me, it's totally hypocritical. How the heck are you? How are you? Just explain this to me. Help me understand in the chat. How are we saying we're going to cut carbon emissions? We're going to reduce all of these reliance on fossil fuels. They're terrible for the environment. And at the same time, we're going to allow the government to subsidize them? Like taxpayer dollars? Like, you are paying for this. You are paying for oil companies. You are paying for these you're fracking natural gas. Heck, Ted Cruz managed to get additional money for them in Texas inside the most recent COVID bills. On their behalf, he literally lobbied President Trump to get additional subsidies and protections for oil and gas companies.
Well, and that's like when you have people that always ask the question, how are we going to pay for it? How are we going to pay for it? This is the kind of stuff that you can stop to pay for everything.
Right. Yeah. How about we don't spend $40 billion a year shoveling to these oil and gas companies? Shoveling all of this money into this horrible, what was it, the corn-based fuel? The corn fuel, whatever, lobby that was, awful. Remember, you would see it, you pull up. I don't know if they still have it. Do they still have it when you pull up to get gas and you see, what is the name of the corn oil? I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
Yeah,
it's in the gasoline. It's like 10%. Help me out in the chat room. What's the corn-based stuff that's
ethanol? It starts with an E.
Yeah. What is that?
Ethanol,
right? Ethanol?
Yeah.
Which is like highly inefficient. And it's ridiculous that we were including that inside of gasoline pumps. And it's ethanol. And even people in Iowa recognized like how terrible this stuff is. And the government's subsidizing that. So these corn producers go from producing corn to eat to corn to fuel. Thank you, guys. Everyone's, yes. Yeah, it's all about the money, Dean Thomas says. Exactly it is. So if we can move away from that and get away from funneling all of this money to these companies, we could pay for this.
It's not just oil. Think of all the companies that we funnel money to. I mean, we've bailed out the auto industry. Like, you think of the bailouts that we do all the time. Like, we're constantly sending money to these corporations that make profits. We send them money.
Right. Exactly.
Like, I know you guys are hurting.
They make money.
Yeah, they make billions in profit, and we're like, we know that you're hurting. Take some of our money because we're fine. The people are fine.
Yeah, Kristen Swenson says the GMO, corn, wheat, soy, all worst for agriculture, land, farmers, climate, economy. It's awful. Yeah, like Lil Hillis, am I seeing that? It's so tiny on my screen. It says, how about hemp to stop cutting? How about hemp to stop cutting? What is she? Right here, to stop cutting trees. How about the sand harvesting that killing the oceans because of the cement industry? Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So don't ask how we can pay for stuff, because obviously we have enough money to help these people. We definitely have enough money to help the people.
Exactly. Hey, I just noticed we have like almost 6,000 roughly people watching right now. Are you guys all subscribers to the channel? I hope so. Just hit that little subscribe button. We do this show live every day at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Bring you the business news that can help you actually make money and not be screwed over by these corrupt politicians and corporations. Grow bamboo, Diana Hassan says. What does bamboo do? And we must do more geothermal, Mike Luongo says. Yeah. There's so much more we can do.
It's so funny to me how they're so hell-bent on keeping the bad stuff, the fossil fuels and all that stuff, because they already have that money infrastructure, that they fight the good stuff. They fight the carbon neutral stuff. They fight the wind and the solar. It just blows me away.
Right. Yeah. And yes, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. We don't have recycling capabilities yet for these giant windmills. We don't know where to put them. They just kind of lay there. But you know what? We could be investing in some of these renewables, and there's some companies right now that are pushing forward with some exciting things in the wind space, where these turbines being made out of recyclables, even being made out of biological products. Heck, the other day I've been using these little flossers. Do you guys use those little flosser things? I hate the cords. I like the little flossers, the little piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to use the plastic ones. Yeah. So they have corn-based. They have these and they're biodegradable. So you don't have to feel bad about it. It actually just dissolves back into the earth instead of these little pieces of plastic and all of this stuff. So much more we can do. Lucky Ghost says, big hello from Boston, Massachusetts. Big hello to you. Big ups to you. So here was Rashid Tlaib on this climate question. And she's saying, she's a progressive, and she's saying, look, we need to do more. We need to go after these subsidies. We cannot sit back and allow Congress to be paying these oil and gas companies at the same time that we're asking Americans to reduce carbon emissions. And we're asking companies to reduce carbon. It makes no sense. Here she is explaining this hypocrisy.
And we collect samples ourselves and have the Ecology Center in Ann Arbor, Michigan, to test it independently from our own government. To nobody's surprise, we proved that petroleum coke was toxic and could cause cancer. This is what happens to countless communities like mine around the world when we continue to incentivize the use of dirty, toxic fossil fuels. And the International Monetary Fund, IMF, estimates that there are at least $5.2 trillion in fossil fuel subsidies each year globally. These greedy corporations have even received $15 billion in subsidies from pandemic relief packages just alone last year.
Did you hear that? 15, what would she say, 15 billion? I mean, during the pandemic, they're doing brilliantly. Oil companies were literally paying you to take their oil because they had so much of it. Because they're just, they're overproducing it. So we got to support these big oil and big gas companies that pollute like crazy. And they lie to us about cleaning up different, think about what happened with the Gulf oil spill. What a PR campaign, how much money they spent on that PR campaign to tell us it's safe to come back to the Gulf and eat. When we know it's not, and we know that we still don't know the long-term effects of what they did with the oil spills there. We still see it in Alaska during the Exxon Valdez. That whole area is still ruined, still not recovered. So, BP is going to tell us. Do you believe that BP is going to tell us the truth? I don't.
Well,
I don't.
Yeah, no, none of it. I mean, they set a precedent. I mean, look at Fauci on masks at the beginning. I told you that you didn't need masks because there weren't enough. It's like they just tell us things to not cause a panic. They think that's not going to cause a panic, but and then the people that know the truth are conspiracy theorists.
Right. Yeah, we just talked the truth on this show.
Remember, there were literal oil balls showing up on the beaches in Alabama.
Yeah, they're like, it's fine.
Yeah,
and then you saw commercials. Look, I covered that story every day on the show. Every day. And every day we had that camera. Remember on the Deepwater Horizon, and it had that camera where that oil was just gushing out of the thing? It killed, what was it? Hundreds of thousands of dolphins. The fishing industry will never be the same there. Shrimping industry, everything. We still don't know. You mean to tell me it's done? It's gone? Cleaned up? And Exxon Valdez is still not cleaned up from... When was the Exxon Valdez? 90s or the 80s?
I think it was the 80s.
It was the early.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's still destroyed. The wetlands there in Alaska.
1989.
So the egregious amount, especially for the industry that has spent decades spreading misinformation about climate change and has spent millions lobbying to defeat climate legislation here in Congress, all for profits, regardless of the human cost on life. Last term, I brought this subcommittee to my district for a field hearing on regarding this kind of pollution, and it was in the shadows. The hearing was done in the shadows of the Marathon Petroleum and the pollution again, in the 48217 community neighborhood in Detroit, which is the most polluted zip code in the state of Michigan. So I wanted my fellow members, I wanted my colleagues to smell what my residents smelled. I wanted them to see exactly what it felt like, literally, to walk out of their house, to see all the oil refinery pollution and how it really made them feel. And so I really want to talk to Ms. Hunkler, because you described how oil and gas companies have pressured your neighbors, violated the Clean Air Act, and turned you all into what you call turned you into a fracking refugee. How has air and water pollution from fossil fuel extraction affected you and your family's health personally? I think it's important for people to understand that we're funding, the killing of people and harming folks in such a profound way. And so, Ms. Hunkler, can you please share again how it's impacted you personally?
Thank you so much. And there's so many ways it's affected me personally in my community. But the negative health impacts, first, we noticed the odors, and then headaches and nausea, body aches and pains, mental confusion, you couldn't sleep, rashes, numbness, aches and pains.
All from these friggin' factories that are polluting and laying in their water supply. And then when the companies come and say, oh, you know what, this is not a harmful substance. And Rashid Tlaib says, what do you mean it's not a harmful substance? What are you talking about? Yeah, and they say, well, it turns out, it's not on the list of banned substances list. And so she does some investigating to find out that, well, it turns out you guys spent a lot of money lobbying to make sure that this was removed from the list. Shocking, isn't it? Only when they dug into it. And it's more harmful than all kinds of other pesticides and cancer-causing agents. And these people are living with it right in their backyard.
And the other part about this is that we had no support, no help. There, you file complaints to the regulators, the Ohio EPA, and little action. And so it takes these environmental law groups who will actually support people. And I had to get legal representation pro bono, thank goodness, or I couldn't have afforded it, to file an intent to sue against the compressor station to get any action from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency at all. So it's not only the health impacts that we experience, but we have no recourse. There's nobody there to help us. And fortunately, at some point we had environmental organizations that came and helped us, with FLIR camera imaging that makes the invisible visible. And that was basically the final evidence that we had, or the evidence that made the regulators take action,
So she had to get legal representation. She had to bring in outside environmental groups with FLIR cameras, those infrared nighttime vision cameras, basically, to prove it. Then the regulators took action. Who do you think's in the back pockets of these companies, being paid handsomely for it? Yeah, we'll take your complaint. Here, thanks for your complaint. We'll write it down in our book. Thanks. They're being funded by these guys because all of them receive money. Ted Cruz, all of these guys get millions of dollars in campaign donations. No wonder they're looking the other way. It's disgusting. I see people here in the chat saying, like dolphin producing, like these, they're not even, like the pods they're not producing babies and offspring because of the pollution there. Look at the water in Flint, Michigan, Indian regions, and the Dakotas. People are dying for corporate profits. And these people, they're waking up with rashes and aches and pains and breathing problems and all headaches. And we see the effects of these people that are near fracking sites, awful.
Well, and all the oil pipelines that we're always told, oh, they're fine. It's the latest technology. They don't leak. But 100% of the pipelines have leaked. 100% of them. If you build them, they will leak. And spill oil underground in water. They don't care.
Right. So when we say, hey, do we want to build a massive Keystone pipeline that's going to bring this dirty oil from all the way through Canada, all the way down through the United States. And yes, they leak. There's never been one that's not leaked. Remember when Sarah Palin was saying, oh yeah, all of this Deepwater Horizon, we got to drill, baby, drill, baby, drill, she said. Remember? Come on, tell President Obama, drill. All of these pipelines have been vetted. Here she is in Alaska, by the way. I don't know how drill, baby, drill. We got to. All of these deep water rigs that Obama's holding up, we got to do it. These things have been vetted. So then Obama goes along with it, to his discredit. And then guess what happens? The Gulf oil spill. Miles under the ocean with technology that's clearly not been perfected. It's all for corporate profits. Just all for money. So yes, if we can get away from these disgusting forms of energy and fossil fuels and stop the government from subsidizing this crap and make sure that our investments, you look at your 401k, when you look at areas where you're putting your money, speak with your wallet. Make sure you're not invested in these companies that are doing this kind of pollution. I try to help you here build wealth on this show in trying to do it ethically, investing in things that empower you, not empowering these greedy companies that are hurting Americans. That's the goal. And that's one of the things we write about every day in our daily newsletter, which we publish. If you go to morninginvest.com, you can check that out. Morninginvest.com is how you sign up for our daily morning newsletter. It goes out first thing in the morning before the show, so you can be a little bit more informed before the show starts. Just put your email address in and you'll be added to our list. It supports our show. It keeps us doing what we're doing here. Plus, you get an awesome newsletter first thing in the morning. Let's talk about some stimulus this morning, shall we? So President Biden, of course, pushing to extend that child tax credit. And we are now, we got word yesterday, finally, that the IRS is planning to get this portal up and running. We had hoped that they would get this portal up and running by July, and they got some criticism that this was not going to happen, that it was going to be too late. But this $3,600 stimulus payments for families is going to start in July. This was from Charles Rettig, who is the IRS commissioner, said that payment plans for the new child tax credit as part of the stimulus relief bill will start going out in July. He said there's no guarantee that this will happen. If we end up not being on track for some unforeseen situation, we will advise the committee. And, there was criticism that the IRS was just cooling its heels on this, not going to take action on this. In a push to make sure that these payments are on a proposed timeline, Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado said during the hearing, expenses like diapers, formula, and childcare can't wait until tax time. Monthly payments are particularly important during this pandemic, with so many low and middle income families experience significant challenges. The payments will be monthly. Payments will be monthly in the amounts of $250 to $300 per child, increasing the maximum to $3,600 for children under 6 and $3,000 for children from 6 to 17 years old. And by the way, if you are making more, if you qualify for the full amount, if you make under $75,000, you must qualify for each $1,000 of income above that. For single and filers and heads of households, the credit will be reduced by $50.
Well, if somebody wanted to start a new business, you could just start having
What's
kids.
That?
I said, if you wanted to start a new business, you could just start having kids.
Right. They're also going to hire 1,000 additional customer service reps. Great. Now, here's another idea, Charles Rettig. Why don't you actually hire some auditors to go after all these wealthy people that are squirreling money away and not paying their taxes? Grover's ready to go get them, aren't you, buddy?
Is that 1,000 people to make us feel like idiots on the phone?
Yeah, that's what it'll be. It'll be those customer service reps. But, spend some money and hire some auditors that go after these wealthy people. The estimates are in the numbers that they could bring in $1 trillion in revenue that's owed to them. This isn't even like going out finding new money. This is money that is owed to them in the form of taxes that Wealthy individuals are not paying and getting away with it. Put money there towards hiring new auditors. I can't wrap my head around why that's not being done. Drags a body away. Grabs one of my son's stuffed animals and just destroys it. Just beats the heck out of it.
You know what's sad too is like they'll go after the people, $100,000 a year people. Like they'll go after your middle class, upper middle class people at the IRS, but they never go after the big people.
Yeah, because they're paid. I mean, these are people that they can get on the phone with. These are people that call up Charles and, hey, Charles, you're not coming after me, buddy. Lay off. Charles can say, no, we were at dinner last year in Hamptons. I'm not coming after. Don't worry about it, Bob. But as we saw from this report, marginalized Americans are the ones that get audited. And they get audited over things like $5. Like this, there's a discrepancy here between this, and it's like $5, $100. That's what the IRS is wasting and spending its time on. That kind of garbage. But the good news is that at the very least, this $3,600 child tax credit is going to start to roll out. There should likely be a portal that you'll log into and be able to update. So that's what they're trying to do, is get this website up and running and make sure that it's available so people can log in, put how many dependents they have, and be able to get access to some of this money. To my mind, it's going to be a game changer. Now, President Biden announced, we heard this week, that he was going to probably extend it beyond 2021. But I also reported this week that it doesn't look like he's going to make it permanent just yet, unless he gets progressive pushback, which I'm hoping will happen. Somebody like Bernie, who's not afraid to speak his mind on everything, like climate change yesterday. Unless we take bold action to transform our energy system away from fossil fuels, take on climate crisis, our children and grandchildren are going to look back on this period in history and ask a very simple question: where were they? Well, they were too busy lining their pockets. They were too busy lining their pockets to pay attention. Meanwhile, this is incredible. Los Angeles, we're following the guaranteed basic income story here on the show. And Los Angeles is set to launch their guaranteed basic income program. This is pretty amazing. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti has proposed a guaranteed basic income pilot program, which would make Los Angeles the largest U.S. city to run such a program. I'm going to watch this very closely. This year, Los Angeles will launch the largest guaranteed basic income pilot of any city in America. They've budgeted $24 million to provide $1,000 a month to 2,000 households for an entire year, no questions asked. And again, we did the story yesterday where we showed you the effects of universal basic income around the world. In every test program, it has been successful. People did not just quit their jobs or did not want to go back to work. It actually helped them get back to work. It actually helped them reduce stress, depression, mental health problems, and helped businesses. All of it. Data from Stockton, California shows that recipients had greater success in finding employment and improved mental health. 1 in 5 people lives in poverty in Los Angeles, in the second largest city in America. So this pilot program, I'll be watching that closely. That's going to be exciting. That's going to be exciting to see how that goes.
Like a roulette? How do they find the 2,000 people?
I don't know more details of that. We had this statement from Los Angeles mayor. I think it's from what I gather, like what they did in Stockton. It's those people that qualified based on income, based on employment status. I don't know if you'd have to apply for it or if they just know who you are. Like, they're they already know who you are based on your taxes or census data. And the good news is we have all that fresh census data too. So this This is not like 10-year-old data. This is all up to date they can pull from. So yeah, I don't know exactly, but if it's just like what they did in Stockton, it's probably pretty similar to that, how they chose those individuals through census-related data.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good news. That's good news there in Los Angeles. Anybody here in Los Angeles today watching the show? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the old chat box. I want to show you some trades here in a second. We're going to check in on Bitcoin, see how this is doing. As David continues to sweat. Oh, it's down a little bit more. It's at 49. It's down at 48. Down 11% now.
When do I dump?
Come on, little bit. And don't dump. This is a, don't do what the herd does and get scared and sell whole. Don't do it. Here's Ethereum down too a little bit. But we're going to get to that. And I'm going to show you a mistake I made here in a second. So, no one's perfect. And I'll show you my mistakes so you can learn from it. But first, I want to tell you about our friends at Honey. Honey. This is amazing. Saving me money. I love saving money, and I love where it makes it super simple. So you can add it right to your Safari browser, your Chrome browser. It drops down when you're on a site that, it's like anyway, J.Crew, you're on any of these sites like that. It doesn't matter. See, right? They have 3,000 stores right there on their website. I'm sorry, 30,000 stores. They support 30,000 stores. From tech, gaming products to popular fashion brands. Honey is a free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes, and it applies the best one it finds to your cart. So I was ordering something the other day. I was ordering something for my wife for Mother's Day. And it was like a piece of clothing. I can't explain. I want to give the gift away here, but Honey thing dropped down, and it applied a promo code, and I was able to save some money. It saves 17 million members over $2 billion in savings. And you can get it for free. Go to Get Honey. You have to put that get in front of it. I'm sorry, it's join. Go to joinhoney.com. So you got to put that join in front. Joinhoney.com/invest. Joinhoney.com/invest. It's free. It installs in just a few seconds. You could be straight up missing out on free savings if you're not using. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. I'd never recommend something I don't use. Joinhoney.com/invest. Check it out today. All right, as we were checking Bitcoin here and these numbers, I don't want you to get scared. Look, it was at 48, it's at 49 now. So let's take a look at some of these charts here, shall we? So this is BTC. All right. So let's take a look at some charts here. And where's my other chart? Pull this back up here for a second till I get my BTC chart. And I think what's happening right now what's happening with BTC, what's happening with Bitcoin is, we're in this retest moment, and it's kind of jumping up and down, schizophrenic a little bit, all over the place. And until that settles down, we're not going to have a smart play in some of the altcoin strategies right now, because everything's moving because of BTC. So let me pull this full featured chart up here. Okay, so here's BTC. Here's Bitcoin 1-day chart. Okay, this is a 1-day chart. And again, I think if this trend looks like it's happening here, down to this 43,000. So this is the pattern, sort of downward. It's like downward wedge pattern right now. So we want to be able to see this pop. Once it hits this, either you want to be paying attention to this volume down here. Okay, so this volume down here at the bottom is what we want to be paying attention to. Now, are we seeing greens popping up here? Are the bulls coming in? So we're going to get close to this apex here very shortly. Let me go back to this other intraday chart here. Let's see. So we want to see where this is going to break out.
So how much of this is like, media manipulation or political manipulation with stuff? You know what I mean? Like how much of what's happening right now is determined by that?
Well, certainly you see, you see a lot of media talk about it, and when you see different tweets move the market. But I mean, this was the news that moved the markets, and this was the news that moved everything yesterday afternoon. And so from this Bloomberg rumor, it's moved everything. That's what happened. And then you saw $200 billion wiped off in a day. And on the Dow Jones, dropped 400 points. The stock market drops 400 points. So, yeah, a lot of that can happen.
Because the Fed and all that, they don't really like crypto, right? They don't like Bitcoin.
No, but, that's the thing. What was odd about Bitcoin plunging yesterday, I thought that was, we also got some news, though, from on the Coinbase side of things. So, the guys that rolled out the Coinbase IPO last week, turns out we got news on this yesterday as well, that turns out all of the Coinbase guys, the owners of Coinbase, ended up apparently dumping billions of dollars of their shares. What does that say to the market? Like the owners of Coinbase dumped billions of dollars of their own Coinbase stock. So, and because Bitcoin is so closely tied to Coinbase, that you're seeing some of these things reflected in the news. Nevertheless, it all comes down to the data. My opinion, it comes down to this. What happens here? So is this apex? You never ever buy in a situation like this. You never buy in these. Never buy in the side of this triangle. You want to see a breakout. And look at this big fake out right here. See this big candle here pop down? Really low. Really low. That popped down like 42. That was a fake out and pop back up again.
What causes a fake out?
Well, you might get some volume happening real quick, but then it's not supported. So it's almost like it's like, to me, it reminds me of like you walk into your kitchen, you're looking for something, and then you just walk right back out because you can't remember why you were there. Like you open the refrigerator, like what? And so that didn't have the additional dumping support, selling support. Fake outs are wacky, so you want to pay attention to fake outs because sometimes you can buy in a fake out too when it breaks out, and you think, oh, that's a good buy, and then suddenly it bounces downward too. So you can have breakouts the opposite way too, go up, and then it pulls back real quick. So you got to be careful on some of these breakouts. So anyway, Bitcoin, 1 day chart here. This is again, we're watching this. It could hit down to 43. That's the trend line though. So what happens then? Does it bounce up? Really nice into the 60s.
I like the way that looks. Yeah. Let's make it do that. How do we do that? Who do we call? Let's
call the crypto gods.
Call Elon Musk and let's get him to tweet about it.
Or does it drop down there?
No, don't say that, man. Come on now.
But if it drops down there, then that's where you could, put some more money into it.
You think that once it gets down there, I'm going to want to put more money in it?
Well, here's what's going to happen. And here's how you trade during these situations, okay? So when you get Bitcoin running down here, and Bitcoin has to settle down into a pattern, okay? Once Bitcoin starts settling down like this for a while, that's when you're going to start to see these other altcoins explode, okay? But with this volatility right now, it's really hard to trade this market with this kind of craziness with Bitcoin, okay? So, but when Bitcoin gets into a final pattern here and it gets into a regular stasis pattern here, that's when you're going to see these altcoins just explode. And as my friends are saying, this is literally about to become one of the best altcoin seasons we've ever seen. So if you've got money sitting on the sidelines right now, just please pay attention. We'll be reporting it here on a regular basis of what's happening with Bitcoin and when we're officially like into this altcoin season where you can start to pick up some great plays. Here's one I want to show you. Now I bought into no, that's not the one I wanted to show you.
You know, I figured out last night, I went and figured it out based on the growth of Bitcoin. If I would have if I had listened to Ron Paul in 2012, I had $20,000 I could have invested. Had I invested $20,000 in Bitcoin in 2012, I'd have over $160 million.
Yeah. I mean, that happened to a bunch of my friends, to be honest with you, and I didn't do it. I did very well in real estate, but if I would have put even just a little bit more money into Bitcoin, I mean, yeah, like 15,000, it would have been tens of millions of dollars. So that's what I'm saying is we're going to start to see that now with these altcoins. So get ready, folks. And we can make a lot of money here. So let's see. Let me do this Rose BTC. Rose USDT. All right. So here's this Rose chart. Let me pull this up here. This is what I bought. Here's what I want to tell you about a mistake I made. Okay. This is a mistake I made just a few days ago on a buy. So this is Rose. This is an altcoin Rose. Okay. I bought the other day at 0.197. That's where I bought into Rose. Now, here's what you need to learn from my mistake. I didn't, and for some reason, something it distracted me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to blame the kids. Like Ted Cruz. Something distracted me. I had another project pop up, something. And then I didn't set a stop loss. And so when you trade, you want to be there physically paying attention to what's happening. Like, don't set a trade and then fall asleep. Okay? You make a trade and pay attention to it. And set a stop loss so you're not losing money. And then ladder up your profits throughout. And so I didn't do that. Now, I'm still holding Rose right now, okay? Because this is going to bounce back. So I'm not freaking out about it, but I could have taken some nice profits on this, okay? So let's look. And I'm going to show you what I'm seeing today on Rose right now. And this looks like a downward wedge. And this is like a bullish pattern right now. What's emerging with Rose, okay? That's what we're seeing right now. So it's going to break out one way or the other. And I believe it's going to take off. Now, I bought in right here, okay? This is where I'm looking to get back to, okay? So, kind of drop down. So now what I want to do is I want to look at this line between here and here. And as this thing starts to go up, I want to start, this is like the distance. I want to start taking profits as this goes up, okay? 25%, up and up. But again, this will likely bounce back when Bitcoin settles down a little bit. So what I should have done to make some good money on this, when I bought in at 197, I bought in over here. I bought in like here, I think on, where did I do that?
Why don't they let you set stop losses on cryptos?
Oh, you can. Yeah,
Oh, you
I
can.
didn't.
Oh.
I forgot. I got sidetracked and thought I did, or something distracted me where I didn't set my stop loss. So I bought in at 197, which is right here. Like, I should have set a stop loss probably right here under this most recent support, so that if it dropped down to 178, I would have stopped out of it, but I didn't. Okay. So when I bought in, it went up, right? And I could have taken some profits, a little bit of profit, but I didn't. Now, this is a one-day chart. It was higher than this, so I would have actually made some profits. I didn't set a stop loss, and then I should have set it here. So then it goes down here, boom, 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 boom. So this is where we are right now. So I've lost a little bit of money in this. and I'm just waiting for this thing to pop. So I'm keeping my eye on this, and what I'm going to look for is green coming in here, green volume coming in. And then that's when we'll start to see this thing move back up here. So folks, if you're looking for a good altcoin right now, Rose. Look at that. Okay. Because the likely, if it falls anymore, the worst it's going to fall is to here. And that's a huge retrace back up. Or even here. So it broke out of this pattern here. It broke past this most recent big dip a little bit. So now we're going to see if the bulls come in on this one and push it back up.
Is it kind of, I mean, so if you're looking at that chart, okay, my mind is thinking like the way that you're talking is bulls or whatever, you guys kind of watch these patterns, and then when you see it reach a certain point based on that graph, you all buy in again. But isn't that in return affecting the graph? Like, aren't you actually manipulating the graph at that point? So because these people read these sets, they're like up, down, and then it's like, okay, when it hits this down point where you follow this market, you know, okay, that's going to be where it goes up again. So you all buy in, which actually makes it go up. Is that how that works?
Yeah, but all that goes out the window if Bitcoin takes a dump, you know? So there's a whole bunch of factors involved in this.
Okay.
You know, so you know, this is just one chart, this is one coin, but this is not in a vacuum, in a bubble.
Okay, I didn't know all the other coins affected every coin.
Yeah, I mean, well, just the market in general. You know, if people are just dumping Bitcoin, then they're looking for alternative places to put their money. Then altcoins jump. You know, and if you want more stable, then you move into USDT as a stable play. But to answer your question, like, look at all this volume that came in here, right? So a lot of people came in and bought, and then what happened? It jumped up, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's what happened here. So that does move the market. But, you know, and then some of these people took profits probably right here, you know, here, and then it drops down, and some people hold on and ride these out because they know they're bullish on it. You know, all of these things, like, how do you feel about a company? How do you feel about a coin, right? When Ford's making new cars that are environmentally friendly and you're excited about EV, you're like, you know, like, I'm bullish on Ford. I'm bullish on Apple as a stock. Well, that depends on the infrastructure. I mean, we got news. You get news on these different coins and these different blockchain technologies that are driving people who are able to make payments, and they're able to buy Teslas using different payment processing software and systems and all of this blockchain. Are you excited about what Rose is doing? Like, I'm excited about Polkadex. There's some big mainnet news coming out from them over the summer or in May. So Polkadex is going to go up, could hit 300. So it's like, you know, are you bullish on these particular coins, and are you in it for a longer play or short term? Do you want to take some short term profits and get out? But news moves these things. So the adage is, you want to buy on the rumor, sell on the news. Because news, when someone's doing a news story on it, it's too late. Like, that means that's when, like, the rookies get in. Okay, so if you could hear a rumor and you then study the chart, start tracking it, you see what's happening, you jump into it, and then selling on the news. Because that's when all the mainstream rookies are going to jump in. We're getting some Bitcoin news.
Great! It just broke out again. 60,000. Awesome. Let me check my app. Oh, nope.
Bitcoin update. Yeah, I mean, see, I think this. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, folks, 43,000 is like a target right now. 43,000 is a target. So if it doesn't hit that target and it bounces differently, then we have to go back to the drawing board and see what this thing is going to do.
Yeah, because to be honest, that's not my target. 43. That's not my target at all.
Yeah, what's your target?
My target's 63. They're going the wrong way.
Yeah, well, I know it's hard to, and once you start learning these patterns, it becomes, I'm no expert at it, but when you start really seeing these patterns, you start to see them emerging. It goes, you can start to see it in action. It's pretty exciting. And that's how you can make some really good money in a short amount of time. I want to do some pet photos. How about that?
Okay.
Here's Bastion. So
Oh
thanks
my
for
gosh.
sending me some pet photos today.
Those Roddy pups.
Adorable. Cutie. Bastion and Isabeau. Dawn Smithles, Cherokee Nation, Oklahoma. Thank you for sending that in. Here's Bruno and Greta from Frederick, Maryland. From Yo Soy Voltron, longtime viewer. Thank you, Yo Soy Voltron. Bruno and Greta. Is Yo Soy here today? Let me know in the chat if Yo Soy is here.
Voltron.
Buddy and Tiger from Smoky Lonesome. Buddy and Tiger. So cute. Playing in the snow. Callie. Is that Callie in Los Angeles from Bella Rickman? That's a pretty horse.
Yeah. It's like
That's
a
our
bay.
first horse.
Yeah.
Isn't that our first horse pick?
I believe so.
Yeah. Let's see. Aw. This is Theo. The Americana. Am I saying that right? Americana chick. Theo, the Americana chick. Crystal from Georgia sent us this. That's so cute. Here's Dottie. Dottie the kitten. Whoa. Dottie's moving all over the place. Dottie from Christine Jordan in Missouri. Thank you for that one.
You showed that
We
one
saw this
yesterday.
yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did I get that one in there? Make sure I get this. Yeah, I got that one yesterday from Ellie. This one's, ooh, sorry. This is Linda Wolverton. This is Emily Rose. Just chilling here on this pillow. Here's looking at you. Who's this one? This is Gilia from Rosanna.
Those eyes.
Cute eyes. I can't even tell who's the real dog in this mix.
It's like E.T.
That's Casper Facada from Muskogee, Oklahoma. The white and tan dog is Chihuahua named Biscuit. Biscuit. Chihuahua. Thank you for that. Oh, look at that. Oh, sorry for the zooming here, folks. Sorry, let me do that again. Better wait. Just trying to make these faster. That's why I'm trying to do it on my own browser here. Cute. Thank you for sending these in. That's Randall from Lisa Randall, my babies. Like the head or the kerchiefs. Go back to that one here. This is Lynette Clowers sent this one in. Can't get out of this view. What's going on here? Trying to get over here to see the name. Peanut Boxer from Lynette Clowers. That's what I was trying to see up here at the top of my screen, and I couldn't get there. Here's Laura Jeter, Weirton, West Virginia. Pet name is Phantom. Phantom. Here's from West Warwick, Rhode Island, owners Rob and Deb Seastrom. And that's Rex and Rocky. Where's the other one? Rex and Rocky. That's a cute dog.
Somebody's done walking.
Sky from Brittany Plotkin. Cute. Oh, look, little babies. Little babies. Oh, sorry, folks. Social. Jeneth Williams. Thank you for that one. This is from Coral Springs, Florida. This is Henry Francis Bragg. Oh, this is Henry from Francis. This is Henry from Francis Bragg.
That would be a good name, though. Henry Francis Bragg for a little dog.
Yeah. Mark Clark. This is Layla, 6-year-old teacup Yorkie Chihuahua. She's 3.5 pounds.
Wow,
Layla.
tiny.
I bet that name tag is heavier than she is. Grover's found his new spot in the studio, by the way. I think he's finally discovering the couch over here.
Is he up there right now?
And yeah, but it's dark in here.
We'll have to put a spotlight on him. If you put a heat
here
lamp
is,
on him, he'll stay there.
Right. Scott Chastain sent in Samson. It's cute. Scott Chastain. We might be related, Scott. My mom's maiden name was Chastain. A lot of Chastains in the Meads family. The Meads and Chastains. My mom's side. Let's see, what do we got here? Look at these drivers. This is in Cincinnati, Ohio. This is Jennifer Hogan. Who sent this in. Walter and Lily. And that's my last pet photo for the day. So we got a lot today.
Now we got some super chats. Evening Sky Woodland Wildness, super chat, thank you. Susan Wacker, we already did that one. Ramon Lopez, morning Clayton, David Grover, and Grogu. Loving the tie, Clayton. Have a fantastic day. And I would like to know, how long have you known David?
How long have I known you? We've
5
or 6 years.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that.
Yeah. I've known of you because Natalie and my ex-girlfriend were friends. Because she talked to, she interviewed her when we first started back in 2016, 2015.
Yeah, we're in the tech space, so
yeah,
it's a small world.
Darren Deneau, just a quick question: if you're on unemployment, will I still get the $300 per month for the child tax credit? Thanks.
Yes, it has nothing to do with unemployment benefits. It's just based on children, child tax credit.
Ralph Mucci, help explain how to buy PDEX on KuCoin. Can't figure out how to buy, quantity and price. Website is confusing.
Yeah, when you get started with some of these websites, I understand they can get frustrating. So let's look at KuCoin here. Okay. All right, so here we are on KuCoin. Okay, I do it in the app a lot of times too. Just go to orders, go to spot order. Okay. Now here's the thing: you need to make sure that you've got money in your different account. So when you put money in here, you can do it via debit card, peer-to-peer, whatever. But when you transfer money over, okay, and then it's there, it needs to go in your trading account. This is different than Binance. They have a trading account and a market account. So when you get your money in there, it's going to go into your main account, and then you want to transfer it, okay? You want to transfer your money over to your trading account in here. So go to spot orders. Let's go to spot. Let's see here. They change these interfaces all the time too. Let me go to trade. Let's do a spot trade here. So all right, so PDEX. Let's go to PDEX. Let's find that coin. Let me take my screen back so I don't see my trading password. Okay. All right, and then here I am, right? I set a trading password so that only I can trade my coins. And then I would just come down here to buy. Okay, now I don't want to click on limit unless I wanted to, if I want to buy it when it hits here, then I'd set a limit. So I click limit. Let's say I wanted it, okay, I want to wait till it falls to 14. Okay, so then I would go here, I click limit, and I'd put 14, whatever I'm going to do, Okay, so I'm going to buy it when it hits there at 14. But if I just want to buy it on the market price right now, like where I'm seeing it going, okay, so if right now the market price is 14.8, so I come over here, get off this little window, and I click market. Okay, now it's going to give me whatever price the market is right now. So I'm just going to, it's giving me, you can't pick what price, it's giving me the best market price right now. And then I pick how much, see right now I don't have any USDT available because all of my USDT and KuCoin is tied up in other stuff right now. So it would show you down here how much you have to work with. So maybe you want to spend 50% of your, Actually, I do have some available. So let's say I wanted to buy 50% of my USDT. I'd want to use 50% of my USDT dollars right now. So that would be 37,000 that I could buy this with. 50%. Okay. Or I want to buy 75% of what I have available, or 100%. Okay. Could do that. And buy into this. So this is a 15-minute chart, and this is going to go, I mean, this is one that's going to go up. There's a lot of, this is like a long-term hold coin here. So, you know, I'd wait for a retest right now. So this is a 15-minute chart if you're thinking about buying into this one right now. You want to see where this is going to break out to. So go to 4-hour chart. And you want to kind of keep an eye on where this is going to go.
James Ochoa is wondering, what program do you use on your trading charts and stock prices? And I think that's what you're in right now, right?
Well, I'm in KuCoin here, but to chart things, I use TradingView. That's what this is. TradingView.com. That's what I use. TradingView, and allows you to build out your charts and kind of build multiple indicators and set alerts. So you want to be setting alerts and things. So this is TradingView.
Lindsay Kirkpatrick, can you do investing for dummies? The stock market is foreign language to me. I have no idea how to start or steps to take. Huge fan, never miss a show.
I'm going to try to do something like that because, like, it can be very complicated, and I think this is a good time to get in right now, as we're about to hit this major altcoin market. It's going to be crazy. So,
Amy Perkins, hey Clayton, I downloaded Binance and I'm trying to get set up. Can you do a quick tutorial how to set a stopgap? I'm so confused.
Stopgap. So yeah, let me just show you here on KuCoin. It works the same way. All right, so let's say I own this coin, okay? This is PDEX. So what I would do is I come over here to stop limit. Click on stop limit, okay? And now you see the difference between buy and sell. So now I'm in a stop limit. All right, gotta make sure you click this, okay? So stop limit. Then I come over here and I want to set where I want it to stop. Okay, stop the bleeding. Now what happens is you need to almost set it like a sieve, like a little bit of a filter first. So you want to set things to just protect yourself against it going lower. So on this one here, let's look at this price on this one here. This is a 5-minute chart, okay? But let's say I buy right now at 15. Okay, let's say I buy into this at 15. And actually, here's a good opportunity. I'm going to take a look at this one again because I might want to buy back into this again. Okay. So let's see. This is a 5-minute chart. We saw 2 green candles here and then drops, and then we got another green candle here. No, I'm not. I'm going to wait on this. I want to wait. No. So here we got another little bit of green popping here, okay? So this is continuing to go up now. So I'm actually going to buy to give you an example of this. All right, so let me do a market price purchase here. And I'm going to buy I'm going to buy, I'm just going to wait for a confirmation that this is going up a little bit here. Buy as an example here. Actually, I'm going to go lower. I'm going to buy $10,000. I'm going to buy $10,000 of Polka Dex at as I'm watching this chart here. Let me zoom out a little bit. 15-minute action here. Okay, maybe not. Well, good. Come down to 14, but got some support here. Bounce back. Could be going into a double bottom pattern. Just zoom in. See, you look at these different views. I mean, each of these candles represents 15 minutes. So if I go into 5 minutes here, I can see that I've had 2 green candles in a row here now.
Mike 207, what's your take on Dogecoin thinking of investing?
Watch yesterday's video. I did a whole Dogecoin section of yesterday's live show. Go to that section of the video, and I kind of break out why I think there's 3 good reasons that Dogecoin's going to go up. And I think we even did some charting yesterday on Dogecoin. So go check out yesterday's live stream and go to that section of the video where we talked deeply on Doge.
Tony Joslin, cutting the cord. Any suggestions on a streaming service? So I use an Apple TV, but I got to say, my favorite so far, like I canceled Netflix, I've canceled all the rest and kept HBO Max because they're bringing new movies. Like, for instance, my brother and my niece are coming over tonight and we're going to watch Mortal Kombat movie launches today. So I've had, like, I just think they have the best shows. What about you, Clayton? What do you use?
Yeah, I use Disney Plus. I mean, Netflix mostly, but lately I've been just using Hulu. Hulu's been actually pretty good because I bought the live package, so it's like for live television stuff. Mm-hmm. And we've been watching a lot of Top Chef. We love Top Chef.
That's a good show.
So that's on there. So yeah, I mean, you just need to find out like what you love, and then if you're a sports fan, Fubo is just like the best for live sports. So if you want football, soccer, college sport, like all of that is in Fubo. So it really depends on where you spend your most time, I think. Like if you got a lot of kids, and they want to watch a lot of Disney shows, then you might obviously consider Disney Plus.
Samantha Flanagan for Super Chat, thank you. Richard Rubio, in January I bought $480 in XRP. With this dip, I'm still over $2,000. I say think of it on sale and buy. Love the show. I got into crypto because of this show.
Oh, awesome.
Lucky Ghost, big hello from Boston. Todd Williams, new member. Erica Young, why keeping them in business by paying them to hurt us in the long run? We're literally keeping them in business to kill us.
Talking about oil and gas companies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're subsidizing them. All right, so here on this 3-minute chart, boom, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. So let's see, what does the 1-minute chart look like? Okay, it's kind of going sideways. So is there enough volume? Now I want to look at volume. So I'm not seeing the green support volume that I would like at the moment. Seeing a little bit of volume down here on the 5-minute chart coming in here. So again, I just want to confirm that this is moving back up before I buy into it. And we're getting some volume here. So bulls are coming into this one and they're keeping an eye on it. We just got some Polkadex news a few minutes ago, actually. Yeah. Look, it's moving again. So, okay, we're getting more green support here on Polkadex. Let me see where we are on this 3-minute chart. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a guinea pig here for you guys. Okay, so I'm seeing volume, but that volume is not where Again, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen because I want to see the volume is coming in to support this breakout. Okay, we had this big decline. We saw this pattern here pop out. Okay, yesterday. Some nice profits there if you bought in here. It ran up here again.
But from somebody like if I saw that graph and somebody who doesn't do, watch it like you do, that looks like it always goes down lower than it goes up. So that would be one that I would be like just from a visual standpoint, I think that one would scare me.
Yeah, look at a 4-hour chart though. So let me pull back to a 4-hour chart. I hate this flattening out. Okay, there we go. These are all 4-hour windows here. Shoot. I do need to do this with the iPad. Might be a little easier, huh? But so you can take profits. Like, you can look at this and say, like, this one is a coin that a lot of people I know are holding this one until December. They're holding this one a long time. So, you might not, this is not one where you're like going to be watching these 4-hour windows all the time. Set your supports, set your stop losses so you're not, and take profits as you get these little dips and swings. So this had a nice run up today, this morning. It's dropping. It's a tough one. So I'm not really sure what this pattern is doing yet. But see, you had support here. Make this bigger. Why is this not letting me do? So you had some support here. It went up. Now, have some support here. It keeps hitting this same 15 resistance line. So it's not, it's not going below that. And we're getting, see, the bulls came back in to keep this 15 line going again. So let me just zoom down in. Okay, some volumes. You want volume confirmation that what you're seeing is happening here. So volume is down here. See these green candles down here? It's coming in. All right, so
Rumple Gold, Super Chat, Cornfield, Ethanol. Brie Navarra, the livestock industry is just as bad as corrupt as oil companies. Watch Cowspiracy on Netflix. I've actually seen that.
Yeah.
Rumple Gold, but
that's the documentary that I think made my sister a vegan.
Yeah.
A vegetarian.
It almost did me too, but I love burgers.
Yeah.
I get all my meat comes from Butcher Box, so I don't buy any grocery store meat. I only buy meat from them. And it's reasonably sourced.
I only buy it from the butcher.
Responsibly sourced meat.
All from like the local butcher.
Yeah. Rumple Gold, but is electric cars really the best we can do? Isn't there a better alternative to travel? Probably.
Teleporting.
Yeah, I just watched Superman again. I just realized last night I didn't really actually watch The Man of Steel. Superman Returns, I think it was called, or something like that. The first Henry Cavill
Brandon
one.
Routh movie?
No, the Henry Cavill one, the first one. I was like, that actually was pretty
Man of
good.
Steel, yeah.
I didn't remember. I remembered I didn't like it the first time, but I guess I didn't pay attention because I watched it last night and I was like, that's actually not bad.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pull the trigger on this now. Okay, each of these are 3-minute chart here. I'm seeing volume enough here to be happy with, just as an example here. All right, I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm buying $10,000 of Polka Dex. Okay, I just did. Now, oh, good. Right after I bought it, it popped up. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a stop loss because that's what you asked me in my example. Okay. So now I'm going to go to a stop limit over here. Okay. Stop limit. And normally the most recent support, like I would probably set it here. So I'm going to do that so it doesn't go below 14 on me. Okay. Normally you do it at the end of the wick right here, 142816. Okay. So I'm going to hit, so that's 142816. Okay. That's where I want it to stop the bleeding. And then I'll do a little bit below that. You could do it down like 142496, whatever, 142496. But you got to remember, sometimes what will happen is, and then I want to sell all of it if that happens. So I put 100%. Okay. I'm going to sell 100% of my Polkadex if that hits that stop level. Sell. Okay. Okay. Now what it did was you have order placed to sell it at that level. Okay. Now I come over here on the bottom of the screen and see stop order. I have a stop order set now to sell it. Stops it there. It stops the bleeding here and then sells it there. So that's what my sell price will be. And I'll lose a little bit of money if that happens. Okay. But now what I want to do is I want to trail this up. Means now I want this to go and I can cancel this stop order out as this goes up. So let's say it goes up here. Well, then I could set a new stop loss here. So now I'm locking in profits as this climbs. So it's at 154769 right now. And I think that this thing is going to go to 300. So this is a really nice little retest that we watched in real time play out. Okay. See this? Like this is a nice little retest that looks like it's playing out right now. Because look at this volume coming in now at the bottom of the screen. I'm kind of excited we got to watch this live here. See this volume came in? It's supporting what I was seeing in real time. Volume increasing. People are buying it. My price that I just bought is going up. I'm making profit right now on this coin. Polkadex, PDEX. And, this is going to continue to go up. Let's check in on Bitcoin, because that's an important part of this.
And while you do that, Ryuji Maradiaga, after my divorce, I was audited 2 times and I made less than $40,000 a year. Rumple Gold, why not make cars that run on distilled water or steam, like in the 1800s?
Steam power, huh?
Yeah. Brian Price wants to know, Clayton, do you start your morning off with moonshine? Just wondering what you're drinking. Love you guys. Clayton for president. Clayton 2024. David for VP.
I start my morning off with coffee, black coffee, no sugar.
Rumple Gold, I had an epiphany the other day. Amazon can pay off the national debt and it would get the government off their back permanently. Yeah, I don't think they could pay off the national debt.
28 trillion.
Yeah. They might be able to suck $1 trillion off of it, but
yeah.
Lisa Pettit, the stock market is like predicting the weather, probably going to rain, but it may snow or be sunny.
Yeah, and you start to watch these patterns, though, Lisa. Like you see, that's why that's why these things exist. I mean, that's why these patterns exist. People call them bull flags, and they call them descending triangles, and a teacup, because these patterns have just been proven over and over and over again.
Yahira Rodriguez,
getting
super chat, thank you. BG C means, can you show us how to shave off and take our profits?
Sure. So,
and Lisa's asking a question that could go with that too. Is Clayton, how do you access the graphs? So, because you got to go into the graphs to shave off, right?
Yeah, when you're in your coin, like I'm in KuCoin right now, you just go into, you click on the different coins here, and they pop up. So I don't think you. So I'm in KuCoin. When you go into your different, so I'm going to click over back to Polkadex here because that's the one I'm watching. But look at this. Now, since I bought it, it's green again. We got more volume coming in. So now how do I shave off profits? Well, so you want to look for a pattern. Okay, so let's take this pattern. Let's take this 4-hour pattern. This is important and a good question. Okay. So this pattern, it was going down. This is a 4-hour pattern from a few days ago all the way up until today. Okay. So this is like a descending, this is like a bull flag. That's what this pattern kind of is, I believe. Could be wrong. Someone disagree with me. But this is what I see, right? Okay. Now, what I want to do is, ideally, I want to take the distance between these two as an area to shave profits. Okay, see the distance between, the distance between here and here. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll move that over here. Okay, now let's zoom back in again. Oh, I can't because that was on my 4-hour chart. Whoop. Okay, so now we're in a 4-hour chart, and this represents 100%. Okay, this line is 100% from here to here. As one of my mentors has said, they like to take 70%. Okay, so don't be greedy because you're never probably going to reach the top of this. Like you might, but 70% will give you good profits. So that's 19, 20. The top of this is like 21. But this is one of those coins that I might hold for a long time. But in this chart scenario, 4-hour chart, I might try to scrape some gains out here, 25%, 50%, or just ride it all the way up until you hit 70%. And then take 100% of your profits here. So you could put 25%, you could buy like a stop, you could do a stop sell, stop limit right here. You could do one right here. You could do one right here. You could do one, let me do a little brush. Okay, so you could set a stop here to sell, 25%, and you could set 25% here. Okay, you could ride this up even higher. Or take 70, which is 70 is like in here somewhere, right? 70% profits. So then you've made money here all the way up to here. That's how you win. And all you could do stop. One of the things I like to do though is trailing stop losses. So instead of setting these targets to sell out, what I'll do is I'll cancel that stop. See how I have this sell order down here, which is underneath this candle? Well, maybe I'll cancel this out. I'll come over here and hit cancel. And now as this is riding up, I'll set a new stop loss here. Okay. Now I've locked in profits. I'm locking in profits and I just keep doing that all the way up. I could just keep setting new stop loss. Sky's the limit, right? You don't have to end here if you don't want to. You can just keep going up the ladder and make some good money that way.
Jay Kellum, do you think Doge will take off if Amazon starts accepting it as a form of payment?
Yeah. What do you think?
Brenda Henley, super chat.
If you can buy products on Amazon with Dogecoin, game over. I mean, hell, once it happens with crypto on Amazon, game over.
Matthew Varnum, new member. Rumple Gold. Hey, Clayton, did you know there's a fan flick written about you? I got curious and searched once and found a 53-chapter fan flick about you quitting the news and to be a detective.
Really? Oh, that's amazing.
I kind of want to read
Wow.
that.
Okay. That's amazing.
Brenda Henley, super chat. Matthew Varnum, how long does it take to get verified on Binance?
It could take a day or two. Just depends on if you get all your documentation to them. You need to like show your passport or your driver's license. You need to. These are brokerages, basically. Exchanges. So they want to make sure you're a real person.
Steve Walker, was the Binance interface? Was that the Binance interface you were just using?
No, I'm on the. I'm on KuCoin right now.
And then we got Catherine Haney, new member, and that is all the super chats.
Thank you so much. Thanks to anyone who is a new channel member. How many of you are subscribers? How many of you are new here? Can you flip off the members only chat for a second? I want to see how many new people we have. Let me know if you're new here in the chat. Say hello and just say, hey, I'm new. We try to teach you about finance here to build up your financial education, financial intelligence. I think it's so important. These are the things you were not taught in school, how to build wealth outside of this corrupt government system. And so that's what we try to teach you to do. Think independently away from the mainstream media and build some wealth here. Ultimately, the goal for me is, I'm a real estate investor. For me is a fantastic store of profit. And if, when you invest in real estate and using profits from crypto and other things to hold like long-term buy and hold rental properties is really the goal. So taking short-term gains like crypto or stock market or whatever, and transferring that into long-term buy and hold where you're getting rental property, cash income, and as a hedge against inflation. That's the goal. So let me see how many new people we have here. Do we got a lot of new people watching today?
Yes, we got a lot of new people. It's flying by.
So
here.
If you guys are new here, just hit that subscribe button.
Kale
hit the
Arts
subscribe
is
button.
new.
We cover.
Gilbert Razzo's new. Stealth ESW's new. They call me Oga is new.
Kate Reed is new.
I'm not new. Vivian Raffberder's new. Mbad, Bobby, bunch of them.
Charmaine Craigwell says Clayton in all caps. Hey there. Hey, don't worry about that. Michael Cotta says, I'm a longtime listener, just can't afford the membership. No worries. No worries, man. Hey, I'd love to help you build some wealth here on this show. That's the goal. I'd love to, be able to turn some of this money that you do have, small, even just starting with small amounts of money, talking like $20, and start to learn how to trade this market. Start to make some good money. Turn that $20 into 200, into 2,000, into 20,000. That's what we want to do. So if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. Is it right down here on the screen? Is it right here? Right here. Right there. Hit that subscribe button on your screen.
Down in the very bottom corner.
Okay. So take that. We do this show live every day at 9 a.m. Eastern time, covering the markets, covering the business news, covering crypto, real estate, and business news. Thomas Kirby says, what's the best stock? Oh, I'm not really a paper asset. I'm not really a paper asset guy, but I will say you look at where the biggest growth stocks right now are in renewables. You're looking also in cannabis. The cannabis space is exploding. And if we go through the decriminalization and legalizing move, which is about to happen, they're just going to explode in the United States.
David Dean, the human juggernaut. Only place I come for news.
Awesome. Thank you, David Dean. Positive Vibes says, I learned so much from you. Thank you, Clayton. You're welcome. That's what. Awesome. Hey, Ray, happy to help you with WIN, W-I-N. Yeah. Ryan Claw. Not other than the news on DCSX. Not on any more news than since I already brought you on that one. But I'm keeping my eye on that one too. Thanks to your wife for the great video this morning. Kristen says, I ordered my CBD gummies yesterday online. Oh yeah, did you find this helpful? What we're trying to do is in the morning, we're going to publish like a little mini roundup of our newsletter. If you haven't already subscribed to our newsletter, just go to morninginvest.com and hit subscribe. We publish our newsletter first thing in the morning, so you get it in your email inbox, and it's a really informative newsletter. We try to make it informative for you to give you the news of the day. We published this morning a little 1-minute video that will sort of be a wrap-up. Natalie did that today. How many of you guys got a chance to see that? Hopefully you found it helpful. It's a good little preview of what's coming up on the show. Catherine Haney says, great explanation on KuCoin. It can be so confusing. I know it. I know it. I know it can, but don't let it eat you up. So let's check back in on PDX before we go here. So this is the one I just bought. So again, remember, I set a stop loss down here. And it looks like it's dropping a little bit. So I'm going to watch this very closely here. It's getting some selling volume here. So, but I'm going to keep my eye on here. And, you know, like I want this to push up a little higher. Again, just see where this market moves with Bitcoin today. Bitcoin was at 48. It's at 49 now. That's a good sign. It's up it's up a little bit since we started the show. Let's see where Ethereum is. Okay. So the thing with Bitcoin right now, if you listen to your feelings while trading this market, you're going to be wrong most of the time. That's the lesson I've learned. Okay. We are going to hit all-time highs soon. This is going to take some time, but you got to look for these alt BTC pairs to fire up when Bitcoin gets boring. So when Bitcoin is getting boring, which it looks like it's starting to get boring for the market right now, then these altcoin BTC pairs are going to take off. The key is right now, if Bitcoin puts in a lower high over the next month, this is where you're going to want to end up considering taking profits and getting out of Bitcoin for a little while. But don't buy in the fear, okay? Selling greed and buying fear. That's what all this is about. So and look on PDX, if I'd buy more on this one. If this one goes down even more, PDX, I'll put in more. Because you'll be like, I'm going to lose more money? Did I just lose all this money? I'm going to buy more? Yeah, you are. Because look where it's going to go. Look where this thing's going to go. So, you buy in here, you think it's going to break out. It's targeted to go all the way up. Sorry, the screen. Look at that. Boom. Huge increase. So, just got to have some patience here on these altcoins. All right, folks. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. If I brought you any value at all, if we've brought you any value at all, please smash that like button and hit subscribe. We'll see you bright and early. If you guys want me to, I'm going to put together some educational stuff. I definitely am going to work on that for you guys for trading and learning more about these markets. Thanks for supporting the show. Much love to all of you, and we'll see you back here very, very soon. Peace.